Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the trailer that came out a day or two ago at the time of me recording this of Season 5 of Animal Kingdom. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. But obviously picking up after the events of Season 4, we have, you know, the family trying to find a way forward without Smurf. And I think that's going to be such an interesting development because obviously Smurf kept a lot of stuff, like she dealt with a lot of stuff that they weren't aware of. She's the reason why there were so many enemies that were kept at bay, because it's like, oh, people like, we don't want to mess with Smurf. Obviously, like everyone, they made the decision like, now we got to make a mark, show people that we're still just as strong without Smurf, because the moment people found Smurf, it's like, whoa, everyone came out the woodwork. So obviously that's going to be a new struggle for them, and I think they underestimate, because forever, since the beginning of the show, everyone's thought, oh, I can do this better than Smurf. Smurf's just so controlling. She thinks we need her, she needs us. And it's like, I think this season's going to be the rude awakening, where it's like, well, now you don't have Smurf to lean on. Yeah, she might have made her mistakes, but what she did great was rein you all in, because all these egos, they need to kind of be checked, and Smurf kind of checked them. Not successfully all the time, but in this particular case, it's like, you know, there's that voiceover from everyone being like, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. So like, a lot of those egos are going to be clashing this season, as we saw throughout the course of the trailer. Especially Jay. Jay's always kind of been like, for one, the outsider of the family anyway, so he's always just kind of been, he's always done the more shadier stuff, in my opinion, because he's always been off on the side doing his own thing to a certain extent. It always comes back to like, hey, you're part of the family and stuff like that, but that's not gonna go away. You know, I'm sure like a lot of that complicated feelings he has towards them, the complicated feelings they have towards him, like they've had clashes in the past, and we're just going to see things, I think, intensify, especially without Smurf being that middle ground. Once again, it's kind of weird to think about Smurf being the middle ground, but she kept a lot of that stuff in check. I mean, especially when you think about, like, right, when it was just Craig, Darren and Baz, and then eventually Pope got out, then like Jay joined, and now, like, you know, eventually Baz was going and it was just them and Smurf, and now that Smurf's going, it's just them. So it's just a lot to kind of, you know, think about. It's actually really interesting. What I think is also interesting too, the trailer showing you once again Darren and Craig off on their own, because they've always, amongst the siblings and everything, they've always had like the tightest relationship. So seeing that kind of continue, like even through parts of the trailers kind of showing like, yeah, they have their own ambitions, but it's still a thing of, oh, one of us is still kind of in charge, right, and the other one's kind of like a follower, and that dynamic is probably going to shift a lot this season too, just because of like, you got to back my play. No, you got to back my play. That's come up before between the two of them in the past as well, so I think we could see a lot of that come to head to it. I mean, let's not forget Craig's a dad too, balancing that, you know, with kind of trying to run things and show like, no, like, I can handle things. Obviously, like, he's come up with plans in the past that ultimately didn't pan out 100% well. There were some hitches in his plans in the past. So another element about the trailer I thought was really fascinating, because I didn't know we were going to get more of it, is Smurf in the past, kind of like I guess, you know, showing her rise to where she is, which is going to be interesting, because obviously we got that back in Season 4, you know. Because if I remember correctly, the season ended with flashbacks as well. Because I think, didn't Smurf, if I'm not mistaken, die like the second to last episode in Season 4? I don't remember. But there were definitely flashbacks afterwards, kind of like it all coming full circle in that regard. But it's gonna actually be a little sad, because Smurf not being around present day and us getting flashbacks of her. I'm sure that's gonna heavily tie into stuff. I'm wondering how many dads are gonna be around, like Craig or Darren's. Like, are they gonna be kicking it around this season? They kind of were hanging around from time to time last season, so I'm curious, is there gonna be anything on that front? But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting learning more about Smurf's past, and maybe like that correlates to some of the enemies that come out of the woodwork, because that is going to be a big thing of like, well, who are these other people? Probably like competition when it comes to stealing stuff, or just maybe people Smurf screwed over in the past, people Smurf owes money to that now they owe money to. So it's a war on multiple fronts. It's a war from within. They're trying to keep it together, like, no, we're a family, we got this. But you can definitely tell from the trailer there's going to be a lot of splintering and resentment. But he also got to work, because we also have to be a united front, because we got to face what's out there coming at us. So it's just, like I said, war on multiple fronts. So I'm excited to see the full scale of everything that it goes down this season. It looks like it's going to be wild. Obviously, these are just some of the things going through my mind. I'd love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are some things you want to see from this season? What are some things you expect to see from this season? Let me know. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.